Sweet 16, UConn begins its quest for a record 16th Big East regular season championship tonight. The Huskies visit Villanova. You'll see it next on CPTV.
It begins tonight here in suburban Philadelphia and won't end until the 3rd of March in New Jersey. It is the Big East Conference season. We are just 12 miles west of the city of brotherly love at the Pavilion, where the #1 ranked UConn Huskies visit the Villanova Wildcats. And a very pleasant good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Picozzi along with Megan Kumo. We hope your new year is off to a good start. UConn's off to an 11-0 start. And Megan, when you're trying to defend the Huskies, it's pick your poison.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do? How do you stop them? Do you try to stop Tina Charles inside? Well, good luck. She's shooting 61%. When this big girl gets it inside, look out. She gets to the basket so strong. Well, if you try to stop the inside game, well then, how do you then stop the outside game? Here is one of Mel Thomas's 5 threes from Monday's contest against Army. And then the only difference between last year and this year's team is this young lady. You talk about the Big East best freshman. Well, look at Maya Moore. She's got my vote for best freshman in this country.
At 10-3, Villanova already has won 2 more games this season than the Wildcats won all of last year. Their motto, if it's 3, it's me.
Well, you know, they have 5 players on the floor at all times that can shoot the 3 and shoot it well. These 2 young ladies, we've got Stacey Whitman and Lisa Karsick, both leading this team. They lead the nation with 11 threes a game, and they also only turn it over 11 times a game. So if you're taking care of the basketball like they do, look at these impressive numbers. The Huskies are going to have their hands full, Bob.
And who says you can never go home again? Gino Auriemma has. He's only 11 miles south of the old neighborhood in Norristown. But will it be a happy homecoming? The opening tip is next. Bob Picozzi and Megan Kumo back at the Pavilion, all set for the 47th meeting between UConn and Villanova. Let's check out the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Huskies. After missing Monday's game with a sore knee, Brittany Hunter is back in the lineup for the Huskies. She's 7th in the Big East in field goal shooting at 58%. And for Villanova, Laura Kurz is a transfer from Duke. And in her first year in a Wildcats uniform, she's 2nd in the Big East in three-point shooting percentage at 50%. Gino Auriemma has coached UConn to 19 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances and 5 national championships. And in his 30th season at the helm, Harry Beretta is the dean of coaches in the Big East. He's won 546 games, and he's guided the Wildcats to the NCAA tournament 8 times. And among those in the crowd tonight, Megan, is a future Husky.
Yeah, how about that? Elena Deladon, which I know everyone in Connecticut must be excited to get a glimpse. We've heard so much about this young lady. She's had mono, and we're going to talk to her hopefully at some point tonight and find out what her status is, if she's getting back playing anytime soon for her Ursuline Academy. I know she did make the trip out to Phoenix when the team went there. At least she didn't miss out on the trip, but she didn't get to play.
She's from nearby Wilmington, about 35 minutes away, and she's in the house to watch her future teammates. UConn has had its way in this series, winning 3 straight, 21 of the last 23. And the Huskies won the last time they were here at the Pavilion. Ball tossed up by June Courteau, who's working tonight with John Morningstar and Janice Aliberti. UConn 11-0, Villanova 10-3. Montgomery with the first shot of the night and rebound to Maria Getty.
A quick shot there for the Huskies to start things.
And Villanova will do just the opposite, Meg. They will milk the shot clock for a good 25, 30 seconds every time if they can get away with it.
Well, Harry and I were talking, and he was joking. He goes, you know, people give me a hard time because I slow it down. He goes, but what else do you want us to do? We got to give ourselves a chance to win.
Kurz changed hands but missed the shot with the left, and here comes Montgomery. Montgomery, a preseason nominee for all of the major Player of the Year awards, the Wooden Award, the Naismith Award, the Wade Trophy. Thomas had a big game Monday against Army, 19 points. Hunter from the foul line. Rebound inside Maya Moore. And the rebound is pulled down by Kurz.
Well, Hunter's shot didn't go in. It's so nice to see Brittany back starting and playing again. I know she didn't practice yesterday. And the day before. She took those couple days off, along with not playing Monday against Army. It's nice to see she's back healthy, or as healthy as she can be.
That sort of tweaked her knee against Hartford on Saturday night. Karsic with the miss, rebound on a hop to Thomas. And here comes UConn trying to get something in transition. Montgomery split the defense and will draw the first foul of the night. CPTV invites you to test your UConn knowledge to win a TomTom GPS navigation system. And every time you play, you'll be entered to win one of our season-end grand prizes, 3 HD TVs. Stay tuned for tonight's trivia question.
I'm waiting for it.
First foul of the night was called on Maria Getty. And to the free throw line, Montgomery, who is UConn's leading free throw shooter at 73.3%. We've said it all year, Megan. If there is an Achilles heel to this UConn team, it's the free throw shooting. They're shooting only 60.5% of the team.
Yeah, and Gino did say he's just going to stop shooting them in practice. Let's just see what happens here. It's all a mental thing.
UConn with the half-court trap, which has been so successful in recent games. Hartford and Army just never got into their flow of their half-court offense all night long. Getty, right side to Tia Grant. There's 10 Whitman with 8 on the shot clock. And she buries the 3.
Well, there's a senior for you, because Harry Preda was screaming, reverse it, and they never did. The senior very calmly from the top of the key drained the 3.
Her 38th 3 of the year, second most in the Big East.
See, when you're a freshman and a sophomore, you listen. When you're juniors and seniors, you don't have a tendency to listen.
Well, Charles handed to Thomas, and Thomas buried the 3. She had 5 of them against Army the other day. She had a strange game against Army. 19 points all in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the Huskies started so strong, and then Gino did a lot of subbing and rotating there in that second half.
UConn won at 82-33 in New Year's Eve matinee. Whitman looks inside, nothing there.
UConn mixing up a little bit defensively, trying to increase the pressure here to make this flow go a little faster.
Air ball on the 3, rebound Moore. Here's Montgomery. UConn by a pair. We've played 2.5, and over the back goes Hunter. First foul of the night on the Huskies.
Nice box out that time from Villanova to make Hunter come over the back. You know, what the Huskies want to do is create a faster tempo and not let Villanova just walk it up. And Harry just wants to coach every pass and to use the 30 seconds on the shot clock. That's what this extended half-court pressure here is supposed to do. Just not let Villanova do what they want and go real slow and methodical.
Whitman, left side Kurz, baseline to Grant. Kurz, shot clock at 10. Back to Whitman.
There are a few teams that have the kind of patience that Villanova does on offense. They know, even though, see, most teams panic when the shot is, they turn it over going out of bounds. And most teams, when it gets into the single digits on the shot clock, they start to panic. Villanova is so calm and cool. They'll release it with 1 second on the shot clock.
Villanova is shockingly only 15th in the Big East in turnover margin. They've turned the ball over 147 times. Their opponents 172. UConn conversely second in the league in turnover margin, but they turned it over there in and out of the hands of Hunter. A bad entry pass. Grant to Parsons. She'll throw up the 3. Nothing but blue shirts underneath for the rebound, and Moore gets it.
Well, Villanova doesn't want to give up anything in transition. Most teams only send 1 or 2 people. Whoa!
Great penetration by Montgomery will earn a trip to the foul line for Tina Charles. Second foul of the night on the Wildcats.
And see, that's what bails Tina out. I mean, she misses some easy shots inside, but the reason she's shooting 61% from the floor is because she gets fouled so often, so that doesn't count against her field goal percentage.
First foul of the night on Whitman. And Charles, like many Huskies, really struggles from the line, only 52.2%. And that's a problem, Meg, when you get to the line as often as Charles has. Those were her 47th and 48th free throw attempts of the year. Far and away the most on the team.
Well, and if they're not careful, that's going to cost them, you know.
The hack-a-shack down the stretch.
Absolutely.
Put 31 on the line. It's Getty. UConn staying in that zone. They played more zone early this season than they ever have. That's because they're so athletic, they can go from side to side quickly. Parsons, shot clock down to 5. Gives to Kurz with the clock at 3. Didn't even hit the rim on that one. Wildcats 1 of 5 from three-point range to begin the game. Montgomery down low Charles. They single teamer, and that didn't work.
I like the patience there by Tina Charles. She took a look around, wanted to dish it. She saw a blue shirt cut into the basket, realized it wasn't open. Then she realized it was one-on-one. They can't stop her.
Charles with her first field goal of the evening, and it's an early 5-point UConn lead. We played 4.5 minutes. Getty with a quicker 3 with 15 left in the shot clock.
Well, Getty has the best three-point shooting percentage on this team. I mean, there's no one you want to leave open because she's the last one you want to get a quick shot, but that's defended pretty well.
Yet he leads the Big East in three-point shooting percentage at 52.1. Hunter is shoved by Gorsuch. No, they get her for the travel before the shove. Turnover number 2 on UConn. Well, there are a couple of old friends from the Philadelphia area. One of them has won 546 games. The other one 632. Gino's
there you go. Hey, watch Text and Win with CPTV's Text Trivia Challenge. All right, folks, where is UConn's main campus? I think you might be able to figure that out. Text A, B, and C to 57901 to win a TomTom GPS navigation system. Plus, every time you play, you'll be entered to win one of our season-ending grand prizes, 3 HD TVs. Stay tuned after the game to see if you've won. Good luck.
How come I never got questions like that on my finals at Seton Hall,
my
huh?
God, I wish.
Out of the timeout, Villanova ball. Wildcats trailing by 2. We've played 5 minutes. Villanova 2 of 7 from the floor, and Megan, only one of those 7 has been taken from inside the three-point line.
Gee, that's a shot.
Right, Whitman reverses it to Carson. Villanova with a little quicker movement from side to side so far on this possession, but it is yet to merit them a good look at the hoop. Carson fires up a 3 under pressure from Mel Thomas. Here's Montgomery, penetrating, kick out to Moore. Down low and foul from behind on Carson, and that's already number 3 on the Wildcats. That will be the first on her.
Well, Tina Charles is such a big body in there. Carson cannot, at 6'1", get around her. So you can't go through her. You got to use your feet to try to get around.
Keisha Soignier, number 11 for the Huskies. Number 24, Sharday Houston in. And for Villanova, the backup point guard, number 4, Siobhan O'Connor. There she is, 5'6" junior from nearby Westchester. Here's Houston, who got her first start of the season on Monday against Army. Misses the jumper, gets the rebound off the hand of Charles. Kick out Montgomery. To Houston again. This time a flat foot.
How about it?
Houston had a season-high 10 on Monday against Army. Knocked from behind by Montgomery. Villanova maintains possession. Wildcats split their first 2, then won 6 in a row. They sit at 10-3 following the conclusion of non-conference play. Nothing left but Big East games, 16 of them. Shot clock inside 10 again. Grant with the runner.
The middle of the lane is so open. Obviously, you know what you want to make Villanova shoot the 2-point shot, because you'd rather give up 2 than 3, and they're not going to beat you that often on the dribble.
Houston got it down low. So far, Houston touched the ball 3 times and has shot the ball 3 times on 2 possessions.
You got to like the confidence to take that shot. And Chino's complaining that, what the heck? What is that foul?
Foul was called on Charles, her first, and number 2 on the Huskies here in the first half. UConn 13-8 over the years when playing Villanova on the road. O'Connor, the pull-up by Grant. So Grant with back-to-back baskets in the last 2 possessions.
Well, the kid is so versatile and athletic, and you can see there what her versatility can bring for her.
Born in Norrköping, Sweden. Older brother Kenny was an outstanding point guard at Davidson. Charles hits the jumper from the high post. Gene Auriemma politicking for a call there with Janice Aliberti as the Huskies head up the floor on defense. Grant guarded by Houston, and there's Soignier's 199th career steal.
You cannot be sloppy. UConn is too active defensively. Keisha Soignier is too quick, too smart at those quick hands.
9th in UConn history in steals. Whitman with the miss and nothing but blue shirts inside that foul lane for the rebound. UConn leads the Big East in rebounding margin. Montgomery quick to the hole. Rebound loose and picked up on a hop by Whitman.
Well, so often teams don't want an offensive rebound against the Huskies because in case they don't get it, they don't want to give up a layup on the other end.
Villanova is not a good rebounding team. 15th in the Big East in rebounding margin. That largely a byproduct of their style of play on offense. You take a lot of threes, you're not going to get a lot of rebounds. Work the ball around the perimeter. Shot clock down to 5. Whitman, the runner, didn't even get anywhere near the rim. Wildcats 4 of 12 from the floor in the early going. Here's Soignier. Montgomery playing the off-guard spot. This is the second straight time. Houston, I'm not sure you could slip a stat sheet underneath those sneaks when she takes the shot like that.
You know what? It doesn't matter. She knocked them both down.
Yep. Without anyone contesting her, you can get away with a shot like that. Houston definitely thinking more offense last couple of games. O'Connor for 3. Rebound Soignier. Villanova 2 of 9 from three-point range. Soignier with the penetration. Rebound Whitman, but then lost it out of bounds. Who touched it last? Whitman did. Moore back in. So the next steal for Soignier will be a milestone. She'll be the 9th player in UConn history with 200 career steals. Huskies by a half dozen. Old sitcom of all time, you know, say like pre-1990.
Yeah, that goes way
old.
back.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't go as far back as those guys.
Not even in syndication?
Well, Cheers.
Cheers? That's pretty good.
That would be one of the best ones.
I could probably recite nearly every line in the history of the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Is that right?
But we won't do it right now.
I think a lot of people are thankful.
No, it's only a 6-point lead. Maybe if it gets a little more like 20. UConn having its way off the boards.
Please stay close.
Huskies out rebounding Villanova off the offensive glass 4-zip, and UConn on a 6-0 run with the ball. Up 6 with 9 minutes gone. Thomas behind the Moore screen.
Halfway down, great quick release. It did everything right on that play, it just didn't stay in.
Now Moore set the screen at the foul line. and then she was in contention for the rebound, and as a result, it went out of bounds off a Villanova player.
And that's just the difference between Maya Moore and just about everybody else, the way she works.
Combine the athletic talent and that work ethic, and you have yourself a great player. And she can shoot it, too.
Well, that doesn't hurt, right?
Moore's first basket of the game. She's averaging 16 points per game, and UConn doesn't have a single player in the top 10 in the Big East in scoring. Yet they're 11-0 and ranked #1 in the country. So that ought to tell you something.
They'll give up the individual numbers for team accolades any day.
Shot clock down to 5. Grant gives to Getty. Somebody's going to have to let it loose. Kurz, clock at 1. Barely got it off. Nice use of the left hand.
That's a great take by Kurz, but that's the difference with Villanova. They will run it down to 1 every single time if they could.
And they have confidence in their ability to make something happen with so little time.
Oh, absolutely.
On low Moore, she's double teamed. She works it out to Hunter. What did you say about inside out at the beginning of the broadcast?
I mean, you get it inside, everyone collapses down, and Maya Moore, while she can score from anywhere, she's also a terrific passer, which really helps. It really helps when your post players are good passers, and the Huskies have a lot of them.
And when they can hit the foul line jumper.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt, right?
Kurz with the miss, rebound knocked around, picked up by Hunter on a hop. Here's Thomas. Huskies have opened up an 8-point lead. Thomas blocked by Kurz. There's a look at Laura Kurz, who is from Germantown Academy, from nearby Lower Gwinnett, Pennsylvania. She was a great high school player.
How about that? Nice help coming over. That's help defense right there, folks. Mel Thomas did a good job of getting by her guy, getting to the hoop.
Villanova fell asleep on the inbound, and Thomas with a wide open look. 10-point lead for UConn. We're halfway through the first half. Big East opener for UConn. The Huskies have won their last 15 Big East openers. Last time they lost was to Georgetown in 1992. You don't know anybody on that UConn team, do you?
No.
Charles with the rebound. My partner was on that team. Last UConn team to lose their Big East opener. Hunter down low, uses the glass, and gets the roll.
Brittany Hunter so unstoppable inside. And again, she only plays 14 minutes a game.
She is 2 for 4 from the floor tonight. Parsich.
That voice you hear, reverse it, that would be Harry Peretta.
Maya Moore gets her hand in the passing lane. Harry was telling me the difference between last year's UConn team and this one is they're so long and athletic defensively. He says you try to get the ball in the corner and reverse it, and then they trap you, and you never get it out of the corner. And the next thing you know, you've either turned it over and they're fishing it out of the net at the other end.
Case in point.
Yep. Here's Moore to Soignier in transition. Harry Peretta is very upset, and he wants to talk things over. Timeout, Harry Peretta. It is a 14-point UConn lead. Now, earlier today, Harry Peretta was a little calmer, and he took us on a little tour of the facility next door. And when he got back, he sat down to tell us why he thinks UConn's landing Maya Moore is going to tip the balance of power.
I had talked to Gino about that, I think, last summer, and I said to him, whoever gets her, whether it's him or Tennessee, I knew Tennessee was involved, I said, well, she's going to tip the balance of power, I thought, like one way or the other, like, you know, like a secret weapon. So right now, watching her play with UConn, it seems like she's kind of tipped the balance of power maybe in their favor, because UConn's still young. You know what I mean? Now, Tennessee is still really good, but they're older. So after this year, I see the advantage going back to Connecticut a little bit.
Well, I don't think she's a secret weapon anymore. I think everybody knows all about her. And there's Moore combining with her teammate for another steal. How do you like that? They call a timeout, and they get the ball stolen, and it results in a three at the other end. That's what this team does to you.
And we've seen it time and again, and it's fairly early in the season, but their defense is just so overwhelming. They make you make mistakes that you've never made before, because so often teams have never seen this type of pressure for this long.
Wildcats have turned the ball over 4 times. Here we are, 10 seconds left on the shot clock. They haven't gotten anywhere near the top of the circle yet. Inside, here's another turnover. That's 4 turnovers in a row. Soignier with the pull-up inside the 3. Rebound, Charles lost the handle, and it'll go back to the Wildcats. Maria Getty will come back in. UConn has suddenly opened up a 17-point lead. They're on a 19-2 run. We'll be headed back to that main campus for its Big East opener next Wednesday night, January 9th, against 16th ranked West Virginia. We'll have it for you here at 7:30 on CPTV. In between, the Huskies will visit Purdue Sunday at 1:30, a nationally televised game on CBS. The Huskies will go directly from the Philadelphia area. They'll fly to Purdue Saturday morning for the Sunday afternoon game. And we're going to get a foul in the lane on Kurz. There's the schedule coming up.
He's
Purdue
working,
away.
hey, he's working that gum pretty hard, by the way.
West Virginia, and you saw it, Syracuse game. Syracuse is having a remarkable early start to the season. The Orange are 12-1 heading into Big East play. They opened their Big East season Saturday at home against Louisville. The last foul at the other end was on Kurz, her first and 4 on the team. Kurz picks up another one. So she now has 2, 5 on the team. And to the free throw line will go Tina Charles. Meg, Harry Peretta was telling me he thinks this UConn team is more athletic than the team which went 39-0 and won the national championship in 2002. That was the team when Sue Bird and Swin Cash and Tamika Williams and Asia Jones were seniors, and Diana Taurasi was a sophomore.
Yeah, I talked to him. It is, and I talked to him a little bit about that today too. And he said more athletic. He said now, and I said, well, mentally and some of those other intangibles, toughness.
To be determined.
Yeah, we'll see.
They don't have the experience.
Absolutely.
They don't have the experience late in the tournament, which that team already had. The year before, they went to the semifinals, blew a huge first-half lead, and lost to Notre Dame. The year before that, when they were sophomores, they won the championship. Parsons is fouled while shooting a 3.
And if I saw that correctly, Maya Moore is going to avoid eye contact with the bench right now. She knows she shouldn't have committed that foul.
First on her, 3 on the team. Well, she's fortunate because she's lined up with her back to the bench. So she has eyes behind her head. We don't think she does, although sometimes when you watch her play, it seems like she does. Soignier back in, replacing Thomas. The Huskies, in their history, are 20-5 in Big East openers, and this is the 5th straight year they've opened the conference season on the road. Moore comes around the Charles screen. Soignier to Houston. 24, Amanda Swazinski's in for Villanova. Count it. And foul number 3 on Parsons. And that's
really
big
good
trouble.
take. Good take there, but that was one of the best takes I've seen all season long. Look how big she gets and how hard she's working, and then just wrap around, strong dribble, and go right to the hole, past the defense.
Correct myself, that's only 2 on Carsick, 6 on the team. And Charles at the line looking for her 10th point of the night, and she gets it. So she's in double figures for the 10th time this year and the 33rd time in her career. She scored in double figures in the first 9 games and did not score in double figures in the last 2. Had just 6 points against Army on Monday. O'Connor. Here's Carsick. To Getty. Whitman with the shot clock inside 10. O'Connor for 3. Rebound Moore. UConn on a 24-3 run with 6 minutes to go in the half. Moore lobs it. Beautiful pass inside the Charles. Oh, that was nice.
I mean, when you can pass the ball like that, I mean, to get the ball inside to a post player that's fronted, you got to throw a perfect lob pass. And Maya Moore did just that.
Perfect arc, perfect distance, hit her right on the fingertips. Carsick gets a step on Charles, and then Houston comes away with her 2nd rebound. 3-on-3. Soigné to Moore. Houston puts it on the floor.
And she could have kicked it out to Renee. You dribble penetrate. Renee saying to her, all right, my hands were up. And that's important. You got to go to, if you're Renee Montgomery, you got to go to Sade there and say, hey, man, I was out here open. You got to get me.
Instead, she tried to go to Charles, anticipating that Charles would cut for the hoop, and it didn't happen.
Well, a great thing to do when you're dribble penetrating is to kick it out because everyone is looking at the ball in the lane.
O'Connor. You don't want to pick up your dribble way out there. Whitman. Shot clock inside 10 again. This is Swazinski. Foul line Whitman. Shot clock at 1. O'Connor just beats the clock.
That's nothing for O'Connor. She said, what's 1 second? Nothing.
Coming off a season high 13 and the win over Manhattan on the road on Sunday. Inside the 5-minute mark, UConn by 21. Montgomery to Moore. Deep 3. Oh, effortless. Maya Moore's first 3 of the night and her 10th of the year. So she's got 5. Carsick overhead. Tough
nice
catch
hands.
from UConn bench. Reverses it to Getty for the wide open 3. Rebound pulled down by Moore, already her 6th rebound. She's got 5.6 rebounds and 5 assists and nearly had 8 points. Carsick rebounds the Moore miss with 4 minutes to go in the half. A year ago, Villanova went 8-21. They were 2-14, dead last in the Big East. Now that's not the shot Harry Preda wanted with 20 seconds left on the shot clock from Amanda Swazinski.
But no one has, I mean, that may have been a yellow light. Everyone's got a green light to shoot. No one has a red. But they're so good at running offense.
Montgomery misses the 3. Offensive rebound, Charles. And the defensive rebound knocked out of bounds by Whitman. UConn looking for its 25th consecutive regular season win. They lead by 24. Very first Big East Conference game of the season, and there's only one of them tonight. These are the overall records for the Big East schools heading into conference play. UConn the only one undefeated. See West Virginia, UConn's opponent in their Big East home opener, 10-2 overall. Pittsburgh 10-3. And Villanova at 10-3. There will be 5 more conference games on Saturday as 10 other schools will begin conference play.
Marquette, surprisingly, they're at the bottom of the Big East.
They play a very good non-conference schedule.
Yeah, they always have.
A better non-conference schedule than most of the teams in the Big East. June Courteau, a little timing issue, is over and is trying to straighten it out. There's a look at Harry Preda. You know, last year the team had some obvious growing pains. He had a young team. He said, we're not athletic, The only way we're going to win is with knowledge and experience, and you can't teach that at practice, only through games. He said, trust me, last season didn't come as a surprise to me. It shocked the players, but I knew that we were in for a long season.
Well, and you know what they've been doing at Villanova? They redshirt a lot of kids now, kind of like football does.
Almost routine.
Yeah, and it's just because it's like a farm system, he said. It's just getting them kind of in the flow, and it gives them that extra year, and that extra year really helps.
Hunter went right around Shannon Elliott and then drew the foul on Elliott. The first one on her, and number 7 on the team.
And that's the difference in the athleticism, because Shannon Elliott is a good athlete. She's one of those real hard workers, always plays with a lot of energy. And Brittany Hunter just went around her like she was standing still. And that's the difference in the athleticism.
When we're talking about redshirt, we're talking about non-medical redshirt.
Absolutely.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Jessica Moore is the only non-medical redshirt. And Gino Auriemma is 23 years at UConn. And that was done because when Jessie was a freshman, it looked like she was not going to get much playing time. And if she did it that way, then at the end of her career, in her 5th year, the 4th year of eligibility, she'd get a lot of playing time because she was an integral part of those 3 straight championships.
Absolutely. Really benefited Jessica and the team quite a bit.
This is Grant. She's a non-medical redshirt as a freshman. So is 5 Getty on the floor. Whitney misses the shot. And they're redshirting a sophomore this year. Heather Scanlon played last year, 27 games, started 11. She's not playing this year because, again, they figure that by doing that, she'll get a lot more playing time in the 3 remaining years.
Offensive foul on Brittany Hunter. June Corteau to call.
They're using the left arm to clear space. 2 on her, 4 on the team. Then there's the medical redshirt.
Yeah.
And Kalena Green will have that option to apply for a medical redshirt. She tore her ACL on December 17th and underwent season-ending surgery 4 days later. She doesn't have to make that decision for a long time.
Yeah, she doesn't want to, but you know what? Selfishly, I hope she does. I want her around another year.
But she will be able to come back and play 2 more years if she chooses to.
And I want to say hi to her parents. I know they watch on the computer down in South Carolina. Spent some time with their parents while they were up here. Great people.
But they have one of those big monitors.
Yeah, they do. He's got a nice little setup, AJ does.
Whitman with the miss, and Gardler and Soignier combined to knock it out of bounds. Of course, this is a homecoming for Megan Gardler.
Oh, she said, I asked her, I said, how many tickets? She said, about 50.
Cardinal O'Hara High School, lives in Springfield, Pennsylvania. Her dad, Buddy, is Gino Auriemma's high school coach at Bishop Kendrick in Norristown.
To show you what a small world it is, her brother married one of my AAU teammates who is here tonight. So it's a small world down here in the Philly area.
Is there anybody here, by the way, tonight that you don't know?
Well, is there anyone here actually who is a true Villanova fan? I think we have more Connecticut fans in the building than Villanova.
Elliott with the miss. Here comes Moore, the turnaround in the lane. Offensive rebound. Charles, look at that nice spin move.
I mean, it's fun to see these kids excel, and you see glimpses, some moves that Tina Charles makes that just separates her from everybody else. She's so incredibly talented.
She's got 14. She could be the difference between UConn winning the whole thing and not winning the whole thing. Long rebound, Grant. You don't want to put too much pressure on one player. Well, but if she dominates in the tournament, they're going to be real tough.
And then they got to find a way to replace what Kalena Green brought, because Kalena did so much.
Offensive foul on the screen.
Wow.
It will be on Thomas. Number 1 on her and number 5 on Gino Auriemma's club. Gino Auriemma said about the Big East, you never really know what to expect. We've played a lot of teams that really didn't know anything about us, but Big East teams do, and he expects the competition to get much better.
For the most part, though, this year, the way this UConn team plays, they could watch film every day of the week. I don't think it matters. You can't prepare for this defense.
But he's not going to say that.
No.
Going to get a foul off the rebound.
Well, and, you know, speaking about Kalena Green, Harry Pardo was telling me today, he said, you know, there were times I would watch that kid play last year, and she was scary. She was so good. He was mesmerized with her, and she's so talented, and defensively she could just lock people up, and yet and the way offensively she could go to the basket and rebound the ball. You know, the win UConn is really going to miss her is, you know, if they're fortunate enough to get down to the Elite 8, the Final Four, that's where Kalena Green will be missed tremendously.
Foul on Kerr, her third 8 on the team. She's a real defensive presence, and it also hurts their depth and their rotation. I mean, let's face it, you replace Kalena Green in the starting lineup with Maya Moore. With all due respect to Kalena, Maya is a better player. But now you're losing all those minutes off the bench for Maya Moore. They have to come from someone else. We're talking about productive minutes.
Yeah, not to mention the presence and the intangibles that Kalena Green brings you. She brings you things that you can't see on the stat sheet.
Villanova has not scored in the last 4 minutes and 10 seconds. And they're struggling on this possession, too. It's only the 7th turnover, which is hard to believe. Charles inside gets her own rebound.
I don't know if you could see that on camera, but the smile that Tina Charles gave to her teammates, like, gosh, sorry I missed that first shot.
16 points.
You see, these are things that Tina Charles does. You say, how does she miss that? Well, fortunately, she's a worker, and she was going to finish it until she finished it right.
First foul on Swazinski, 9 on the team. UConn is out-rebounding Villanova 30-9. Wildcats with 6 field goals and 7 turnovers. How many times have we heard that story?
Right, and again, Villanova leads the nation with only 11 turnovers a game. They have 7 here in the first half.
Grant to O'Connor with the runner. And I think Gardner might get called for the rebound foul. She does. That will be number 1 on her and 6 on UConn. So now the shot clock is off with 13 seconds. That last steal, by the way, by Keisha Soignier was a milestone steal. It was her 200th. And boy, UConn history to do that. O'Connor with 3 seconds left in the half just forces up the shot. Rebound Gardner at the buzzer. Another defensive clinic for the Huskies in the first half. On Monday, Army shot 28% against UConn. Last Saturday, Hartford shot 13% against the Huskies. And in the first half tonight, Villanova is shooting 21.4%. The Huskies lead it by 32. UConn went on a 37-5 run in the last 6:44 of the last 13 minutes of the first half, and they lead by 32 at halftime. I'm Bob Picozzi at the Pavilion in Villanova, Pennsylvania. Megan Kumo is standing by with UConn Associate Head Coach Chris Daniel.
Bob, thank you very much. CD, now I know typically coming to Villanova, it's a dreaded experience for many people, but you guys defensively, you guys are awesome.
That was the best 20 minutes I think we put together. Our kids were active. Tina Charles, especially in the back line, was very, very active. She was like that at shoot around. And I think she was nervous that they were going to score a lot of threes on her. So she was very, very conscientious and very active.
Well, and I thought Sharday Houston came out and looked aggressive offensively, jacking up a lot of shots from the top of the key.
Well, you know what? That's how teams are choosing to play us. They're either going to give us a 15-footer or they're going to, they're doubling inside. So we need people to knock that in. Sharday did a good job. I think Brittany knocked one in, too. Even Tina, I think, made one.
I'm glad you got the memo on black.
Oh, yes. We look good. We look good. The new brown, the black, whatever. All right, got to go. Back to you, Bob.
This is a basketball game, isn't it?
The lady in black. Ladies in black. There's Sharday Houston, who came off the bench to hit a couple of shots, 4 points in 9 minutes. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. Not much to report for the home team, but Tia Grant hit back-to-back shots early in the half. She's got 4 points, and she is Villanova's leading scorer after the first 20 minutes of play. The Wildcats game is so much dependent on hitting the three. Maria Getty knocks this one down, but Villanova was only 2 for 16 from three-point range. At the other end of the floor, Renee Montgomery will give to Maya Moore, who had one of those stat stuffer first halves. 5 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. But the big story in the first half, Tina Charles, 17 points, 9 rebounds, including one off the offensive board here. She was 6 from 8 from the floor. And it all adds up to a big, fat 32-point lead. Villanova, Megan, shooting only 21% from the floor. And this is a team that shoots 43% for the season.
Well, yeah, and that's UConn's defense once again. I mean, I don't know if the team has ever been this good defensively. And let's remember, Villanova makes 11 threes a game. They have 2 right now.
Out of 16 shots. Wildcats ball to begin the second half. Getty, shot clock inside 10. This is Grant, lost the ball, then gets it to Kurz. Drives the baseline, misses the runner, gets her own rebound, and will do a reset. UConn entering the game out shooting its opponents from the floor 52% to 27.9%. I mean, that's stunning. They're shooting nearly 25% better from the floor than their opponents. It all adds up to a 42-point margin of victory through 11 wins. Entry pass deflected. Mel Thomas will get another floor burn. 2-on-2. Look at Moore run the right lane. Montgomery didn't need her.
Well, that's just Maya Moore for you. The kid runs the floor as well as anybody I've seen. And for those people who think that Renee Montgomery doesn't have a left hand, well, she just used it.
Well, the head coach repeatedly berates her for that. Garcic reverses it to Grant, throws up a long three, rebound inside to Moore, and that is already her 8th rebound of the ball game. She averages 6. Thomas to Charles, who may have played her best half of basketball this season, first half. Moore knocks down another three, her 2nd of the night.
I mean, the way she is so fluid, the way she shoots the ball. She doesn't have a real high arc on that three-point shot.
You see how strong she is. She shoots effortlessly beyond the arc. It's like
I tell you what, she looks like this is a great compliment to him, but she shoots it like a guy.
Getty knocking down her 2nd three. Getty from the same high school which sent Tamika Williams to UConn, Chaminade Julienne High School, and with that layup, Maya Moore has become the first player in UConn history to score in double figures in each of her first 12 games of her career. No one else has done it. Not Lobo, not Taurasi, not Bird. Maya Moore the first.
Not even Kara Walters, who's sitting down about 10 people from us.
Hers reverses it to Grant. Getty hit a three last time down, gets another one.
That's the extra pass that Harry Prentice been screaming at his team all night. You got to make that extra pass. And there she was wide open in the corner.
Number 1 in the Big East in three-point shooting percentage, Maria Getty. 3rd three this evening, 2nd of the half. Montgomery will draw the foul from Getty. And speaking of Kara Walters, a.k.a. Big Girl.
There's
she
the
is,
big girl.
doing the game on the radio for WTIC.
You know, most people are going to go right from here to Purdue. Bob Joyce is and part of that radio crew. But Kara's going to go home. She's got her 10-month-old daughter, Sydney, at home. And her husband, Sean, she said, I got to go home and spend a day, and then I'll go back.
Sydney will be having some company in the house in the coming months, right?
And, yeah, in March, Kara due with her 2nd. And I believe they're going to be even closer than my kids are. So, Kara, good luck.
Montgomery knocks down the first free throw. Montgomery, a preseason nominee for the Wade Wooden and Naismith Awards. She was the Big East Freshman of the Year 2 years ago. Tina Charles was the Big East Freshman of the Year last year. Wonder who's going to be the Big East Freshman of the Year this year.
Cast your vote now.
Maya Moore already has won the Big East Freshman of the Week award 3 times, including this past Monday. Inside Karsic lost the handle, and good hustle by Karsic to get it back. Shot clock at 5. Getty draws the double team. Karsic shot clock at 2. A rebound pulled down by Hunter, her 3rd. Here's Montgomery. One thing Villanova's doing a good job of is transition defense.
Oh, they haven't given up a lot at all, but it's tough to get back and take away the layup, and then you got to also get that 3. And there, Mel Thomas killed him with the 3, and that's just, you know, it's one of those things that if you don't get a layup on the break, it's just a backbreaker to knock in the 3.
2nd 3 of the night for Thomas, her 25th of the year, 8th most in the Big East. Baseline Swazinski, and Charles deflected the pass. Whitman with the clock at 7. She knocks down a 3.
What a stroke. You know, Whitman is one of those kids that if you look at her numbers from 2 years ago, they're not even close to what they are now. These kids have improved so dramatically. Oh, my goodness. Speaking of dramatic.
Good. The guy who played about 12 miles to the east of us used to make shots like that. They called him Doc.
Yeah, maybe she should wear number 6. Well, 2 times 3 is 6. Dr. J.
Whitman looking for another 3. Rebound pulled down by Moore. Her 9th, so she's a rebound away from her 3rd career double-double. Montgomery behind the back. Charles wasn't expecting it. Gino Auriemma didn't like that one. Sometimes when the behind-the-back pass is can be the best way to get it there. That wasn't one of those occasions. Whitman, good reversal to Grant. Throws up the three, can't knock it down. Rebound Charles, her 10th. So Tina Charles has her 5th double-double of the season and 16th of her career. 17 points, 10 rebounds. Montgomery gives to Moore. Down low Charles. Goes right for the hole. Rebound Thomas. Shot clock did not recycle. Long rebound to Hunter. This time it recycled. Thomas, how many shots have they had in this possession? They're going to get a foul on Whitman on the rebound. Second on Whitman and 2 on the team. Well, how many people in women's basketball, Meg, have you seen make this move?
One.
UConn by a bunch. Crowning glory in the history of Villanova men's basketball. The stunning win over Georgetown to win the 1985 national championship. This a mural on the wall here at the Pavilion to commemorate that great moment.
Oh, watch, text, and win here, folks. Here's the question. Where is UConn's main campus? Text A, B, or C to 57901 to win a TomTom GPS navigation system. Plus, every time you play, you'll be entered to win one of our season-ending grand prizes. 3 HD TVs. Stay tuned to see if you've won after the game. Good luck.
Villanova men's team playing its Big East opener tonight at DePaul. They are ranked, those Wildcats, ranked number 16 in the country. And there you see the commemorating that huge win over Georgetown and Patrick Ewing's senior year at Rupp Arena in Lexington, when Villanova really pitched the perfect game in the championship game. Shot 70% for the night from the floor to stun Georgetown, who had won the national championship the year before. Off the inbound, Montgomery will draw the foul. How many times, Meg, do we see UConn just get unbelievable open looks? Or in that case, they hammered Montgomery to prevent the easy basket when they're inbounding beneath their own basket.
Well, you know, I think it means a couple of things. It means, number one, they work on these special situations in practice underneath out of bounds. It's really important, and they work on it, and then the kids do a really nice job of executing what they work on in practice. And you're right, they often get wide open looks.
Uncontested shots. Foul on O'Connor, her first. Kerrs, left side 3. It's been a rough night for Kerrs, who was recruited by Villanova out of high school, but she decided to go to Duke. Thomas with her 3rd 3 of the night. And the 215th of her career. She moved into 4th place in UConn history by draining 5 threes on Monday against Army. She's got 16 tonight. She had 16 points against Villanova last year. Number 2, Brianna Weiss, junior from Piedmont, California, in the lineup for the Wildcats. There she is. Whitman. Look at UConn extend this zone.
They just make it so difficult.
O'Connor. How many air balls Villanova shot tonight? Montgomery gives to Moore for 3. Front rims it, and Charles with the putback.
Nice offensive rebound, good position.
19 points, 11 rebounds for Charles, who was the National Freshman of the Year last year out of Christ the King High School in Middle Village, New York. There's the steal by Moore. Has Montgomery left, Thomas right, and finds Montgomery. That's Moore's 6th assist.
Moore, and there, Montgomery almost stole the inbound pass.
So Moore has tied her career high with 6 assists for the 2nd straight game. O'Connor. UConn leads it by 45 points, make it 43. 7th and 8th points of the night for Whitman, who averages 16 points per game, a senior from nearby Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania. That's just up the Blue Route. Stone's throw from here. Houston, that flat-footed, almost like a set shot, isn't it?
Absolutely, like old school. But the thing about Charday, if someone comes up and extends on her, she can dribble right around them.
All 3 Houston's baskets have been on that shot from about the same distance tonight. UConn just getting out on Villanova's 3-point shooters. The way the Wildcats run their offense, there's no one in the lane. You know, Harry Peretta told me, if it gets out of hand, we're just going to run our stuff. We're going to treat it like a scrimmage.
Yeah, he said that to me too. He said, we're just going to practice. If it gets ugly early.
It's good practice playing against the #1 team in the country. Moore with the rebound. That is her 10th rebound, so she has her 3rd career double-double. It's been all Huskies. They've won 67 of their last 75 on the road. They got this one under control. UConn well on its way to a 12-0 start, and some teams rebuild. The Huskies reload, and Megan Kumo is standing by with a couple of players the Huskies will reload with next season. Meg?
Bob, thank you very much. Here with two very popular people in Connecticut, and folks, this is really your first glimpse of them. Elena Deladon here to my left, Caroline Doty here. Now let's start here, Elena. Now this is the first time you've seen them here at Villanova, right?
Yeah, this is.
Now I know everyone at home knows what's going on with you. You've had mono. Tell us a little bit how you're feeling.
I'm feeling a lot better. I got good results today on my blood, and tomorrow I get some spleen results, and then I'll see if I can play or not.
All right, very exciting. Now, Caroline, you had ACL, a tear playing soccer.
Yes.
A little while ago. Now, you had the surgery. I don't know if a lot of people know where you had the surgery.
I had it up in Connecticut, actually, at the UConn Health Center.
Yeah. And how are things going?
Going really well.
Feeling good?
Feeling really good. Actually rehabbed right before this game.
So now you're done for the year. You'll be ready to start playing when?
I should be cleared May or June, but it's all up to the doctor.
Okay. Now I know you guys haven't seen them play a lot this year in person. What do you think of this team so far?
They're amazing. I'm so excited to come up next year. I mean, especially with Elena. Then Tiffany and Heather too. Like, I just can't wait.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, Elena, talk a little bit about seeing these guys, the way they play defense.
Oh my God, they're awesome, and I can't wait to join them and just start picking apart all their brains and learning from them. So I'm excited.
All right. Well, we're excited to watch. I know that, Bob.
All righty. Help is on the way. Not that the help is necessarily needed when you look at the way the Huskies have played so far this year. Sharday Houston with a layup at one end, then Siobhan O'Connor comes back to knock down the jumper for the Wildcats. 73-29 Huskies. Inside, Kylie McLaren will draw the foul on Brianna Weiss, her first, and 5 on the team. It's a look at Harry Peretta. We heard Caroline mention Tiffany and Heather. Those are the other 2 high school seniors who have signed letters of intent to attend UConn. The recruiting class for next year consisting of Elena Deladon, Caroline Doty, Tiffany Hayes, a guard, 5'10" guard from Winter Haven, Florida, and Heather Buck, a 6'3" center from Pawcatuck, Connecticut, who was a high school teammate of UConn sophomore Jackie Fernandez. So 3 years in a row, Meg, that Gino Auriemma and his staff, who obviously are a huge part of the recruiting picture, and there's Jackie Fernandez. 3 years in a row, they have landed the top high school recruit in the country. Tina Charles 2 years ago, Maya Moore last year, and this year's recruiting class, Elena Deladon, is certainly ranked #1 on everyone's list.
And you see how tall she was standing there next to me, and she can play the point.
Right.
I mean, the kid is incredibly talented, but as we get a 3-second call here on the Huskies, which I think that's the first of the night, maybe of the season.
Of the season. I know it's your favorite call.
Oh, yeah. Especially when the official up top makes it. But, you know, the thing that really gets me about these kids is that they're just such nice kids. I mean, as much as we've read about them and how talented they are, they're just really nice kids. And you forget that they're 17, 18 years old.
Well, the recruiting process has become so sophisticated in women's college basketball. They identified the great talent very early in their careers. The reach-in foul on McLaren, and everyone in the recruiting circles knew all about Elena Deladon when she was, what would you say, in 6th grade?
I think she was in utero, actually.
Spoken by the mom of 2 young children.
Yeah, right.
O'Connor, a long 3. Rebound pulled down by Houston. Pull-up jumper by Renee Montgomery. She's got 11. So UConn already with 4 players in double figures with 10 minutes left in the game. Charles with 19, Thomas with 16, Moore with 12, and now Montgomery with 11. Whitman with the turnaround jumper. Rebound inside Megan Gardler.
I love the toughness of Megan Gardler.
Out of that tough Philadelphia Catholic League. And Soignier drives to the hole and will draw the foul. This one will be on O'Connor, her second, and number 6 on the Wildcats. And Soignier will go to the line, and we'll get our first look of the night at number 30, Lauren Dixon, who was Tina Charles's high school teammate at Christ the King. They were ranked number 1 in the country in each of the last 2 years. 2 years ago, they went 30-0. Number 2, Tahira Williams, also in for the Huskies, junior from Montclair, New Jersey. Well, that time Villanova defended the inbound pass.
Absolutely, did a really good job.
Soignier down low, McLaren. Nice entry pass, and the shot was blocked by Karsic. Karsic's older sister Tanya was a very good player at Cornell. She averaged 15 points per game during her senior year there, playing for the Big Red. Gardler around the McLaren screen. Can't finish. Williams with the rebound, and then O'Connor stripped her as she went up. And it will be UConn ball.
I think the place would have erupted had Gardler made that shot.
Local product out of Cardinal O'Hara. Her high school team when she was a junior was ranked number 1 in Pennsylvania. McLaren gives to Soignier, then screens for her. Soignier returns the favor and dumps it inside to McLaren for the jump hook.
You want to talk about a presence down low. I mean, and the soft hands of Kylie McLaren.
McLaren is shooting 69% from the floor for the season.
She takes really good shots. She's a great passer.
Averages only 14 minutes per game because of the presence of Hunter and Charles. It's tough to get playing time.
And I love, she's in the back of that zone there. She's talking to everybody. She's active. She's got her hands up. Her head's always moving side to side.
Getty knocks down her 4th 3 of the night.
Well, we talked earlier at 52%. She leads the Big East in three-point shooting.
And Villanova has 4 of the top 11 players in the Big East in three-point shooting percentage, led by Getty. Soignier with the miss. Gardler with the offensive rebound. You can hear the crowd respond. She's a native daughter. Dixon equaled her career high with 6 against Army on Monday. They wanted to go backdoor, but Getty took it away. And Soignier directs Williams to set the screen. Now goes around it and takes the 3. It's like a coach on the floor. You go here, set the screen, and then I'll knock down this.
Hey, her parents are military. The kid is disciplined. She knows she's a leader. She's got the 2 best at home, her mom and dad.
Retired from their careers in the Army. As a result, Soignier has lived in multiple locations.
I'm surprised if one of them is not here this evening.
Well, they're usually here. Bad pass at the feet of Getty. Only the 10th turnover for Harry Beretta's club, but they've had no answers for UConn at the defensive end of the floor. Some folks behind the UConn bench that probably know the answer to that question.
Well, you see the woman there shaking her head. The black sweater and the white shirt, that would be Gino's mother, Marcy. Better known as Nonna to everybody. Just the greatest lady. I drove down with her yesterday, brought her back home when I came down with my kids. And it's one of those 3+ car rides where you never turn the radio on. You just chat the whole time.
She's got a few stories, doesn't she?
Oh my gosh, the best. She's a grandmother to us all.
Down low, McLaren off the nice feed from Soignier. 5 points for McLaren. Soignier's 6th assist of the night. The Huskies have assisted on 21 of their 31 baskets. How many teams in the country have a backup point guard as good as Keisha Soignier? Yes.
Yeah. I think any team in the Big East would kill to have Keisha Soignier starting for them. Heck, they want Lauren Dixon as well, 3rd string.
Getty. Right side, Elliott misses the 3, and there's Gardler with another rebound, her 5th, and that equals her career high. She had 5 the other day against Army.
Well, the kid is tough, and she's always in the right place at the right time, and she's crafty out there.
Good basketball instinct. You can tell she lived in a coach's house.
Yeah, and she played on the courts in the summer.
McLaren pass out Soignier, wide open 3. Long rebound to McLaren, and a fresh 30 in the shot clock. UConn is going to be 12-0 for the 10th time in the last 14 years. Gardler, the one thing she hasn't done this year is she's yet to knock down a three. She's 0 for 10 now.
You should see her in practice. She's unbelievable. Draining threes left and right.
Number 12, Kyle Doherty, is checked in for Villanova. Whitman with a turnaround jumper from the post. Last year, Whitman was a student teacher, taught math at Archbishop Carroll High School during her junior year here at Villanova. Villanova is an outstanding academic institution, one of the top ones in the Big East. Rollman is what, 6,200 here?
Yeah.
Held ball, arrow pointing toward UConn.
And it's tough for Villanova to get a lot of the great players, and they were in it with Elena Deladon. In fact, Elena's mom told me that Harry, this is how good a guy Harry is. Harry called recently to just check in on Elena and see how she was doing with the mono that he had heard she has. And he's that kind of guy.
Of course, Harry had geography working for him as he was trying to recruit her in case Elena decided to stay at home. Wilmington, which is only about 35 miles south of here. Away from the play, John Morningstar. Here we have it. Be a foul on setting the screen on Tahira Williams, her first. There's only 2 team fouls on UConn in the first 15 minutes of the second half. Now, Harry recruited Laura Kerr. She's from Lower Gwinnett, Pennsylvania. Laura decided to go to Duke, played there 2 years. Actually, is Duke's all-time record holder for career three-point shooting percentage, but she could see that she wasn't going to get the playing time that she had hoped. So after 2 years, she transferred. So she's come back home. Not playing very well tonight, but she's had a terrific first year in the Villanova uniform, shooting 50% from three-point range.
Yeah,
Williams with the rebound.
She went to Germantown Academy, which is where Caroline Doty
scored 2,247 points there, by the way. All-time record. And her older brother, Rob, is a starting forward on the Notre Dame men's basketball team.
Yeah, captain as well. Nice pass.
Nice pass. Down low for Williams for the finish from Gardler.
Let's, I wouldn't be surprised if Megan Gardler finds more and more minutes. You know, you talk about the absence of Kalani Green in the lineup, and Gardler's the type of kid who could find herself out on the floor a lot more.
Shannon Elliott, who's also from Wilmington, loses the handle on that one. Now Fernandez comes back in. Gardler threw this one right on the fingertips.
Well, if you double, you're going to leave somebody open. Nice job moving without the basketball by Tahira Williams, but an excellent job by that young lady in finding her.
Jackie Fernandez, the freshman from Pawcatuck, Connecticut, number 13, is checked in. So everyone's played tonight for UConn. Cassie Kearns also on the floor. This is the same 5 that finished the game the other day in Hartford. Probably played as a unit for the last 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, which is the most that I can remember in a long time.
Doherty with the offensive rebound. Villanova begins its Big East season with 3 straight home games. Elliott with the miss, Dixon with the rebound. They'll host Seton Hall next Tuesday, then Georgetown on January 12th. The game with UConn tonight, the first of 5 nationally ranked opponents for the Wildcats this year. Kearns with the offensive rebound and kick out to Dixon.
I thought Gardler got away with a walk there before she missed that shot.
I thought so too.
I think these are Catholic League officials.
Dixon blocked, but a foul will be called on Doherty. Number 1 on Doherty. UConn is one of 3 undefeated teams in the country. They're going to stay undefeated after this one. There's a young lady who was the thorn in the side of UConn one night. Trish Julien in her first season as an assistant at Villanova. Villanova's all-time record holder in three-point field goals, but she scored 18 points the night the Wildcats ended UConn's NCAA record 70-game winning streak, and they did it in the Big East championship game in 2003 in Piscataway, New Jersey.
Yeah, that was a backbreaker for the Huskies, but Julien, my goodness, number 1 all-time in three-pointers at Villanova, spent the last 4 years at Drexel as an assistant. She's back home with the Wildcats. You know, Villanova, very similar to UConn. A lot of their players, yeah, they stay around. They come back. If they leave, they do come back.
There you go. Interrupted the Huskies' run of Big East championships. And that was a UConn team that won the national championship, but they didn't win the Big East championship. That was a Diana Taurasi team.
And it was one of those losses that As much as it hurt the Huskies, I think it really did help them down the road.
Well, down the road ended with the championship. That was the year in New Orleans. They won it all, beating Tennessee in the finals. Fernandez with the steal. 4 of the 5 UConn championships have ended with wins over Tennessee in the finals. And the only time they didn't beat Tennessee in the finals, they beat them in the semifinals. Beat Oklahoma in the championship game in 2002. Oklahoma that year had knocked out Villanova in the second round of that tournament. Another offensive
I knew that shot was going to go in with the offensive foul call. You had to know the shot was going in.
Would have been Gardner's first free of the year. Instead, it's Williams' second foul. She wants to know, what did I do? Hit the 220 mark. There's one of the things that's new this year at Villanova is they have a brand new practice facility which is adjacent to the pavilion, and Meg and I got a tour of it before the game tonight, and it is state of the art.
It's spectacular.
Weiss misses the shot, rebound Gardner. It's a facility for the men's and women's basketball teams. They have their state-of-the-art locker rooms in there, their weightlifting and training area, their office complex, and they each have their own practice court in there. And the court is for them and for them only. UConn is actually going to practice there tomorrow.
I'm sure Gino will take some ideas back to
Jeff Hathaway,
campus, huh? Yeah.
Well, that is Jeff Hathaway, the athletic director of UConn, has made it very clear that's #1 on the agenda for facilities is a practice facility for the UConn men's and women's teams. O'Connor will draw the foul. It's called the Davis Center. And there it is. It's literally right across the street from the pavilion. There's Harry. Listen to Harry here.
The court, I said, no. I said, I got one with locker. I said, I haven't had one with locker in 30 years.
That's all he could talk about. He told me on the phone. I said, so what's the court like? He said, never mind the court. I've been here for 30 years, and I've had to hang my clothes on a nail.
I mean,
I have my own locker.
He's been here from day one. I mean, he has seen this place and women's basketball evolve.
Well, in 1982, when Harry was a very young coach at Villanova,
he had a little bit more hair.
Villanova went all the way to the 1982 AIAW National Championship. That's when the AIAW was the only game in town, and Chris Daly and her Rutgers team knocked off Harry Paretta's Villanova team in the semifinal. Chris wasn't the coach; she was the co-captain of the Rutgers team.
She was. She was nasty in the lane. CD.
And then Rutgers went on to win the whole thing by winning the finals. Jumper there by Dixon, no good. Rebound Gardner is good. Well, last year when Rutgers played Tennessee in the national championship game, we kept hearing over and over again how Rutgers has never won a national championship. Not true. In 1982, they won the AIAW National Championship, and the co-captain was Chris Daly from New Brunswick, New Jersey. Cross-court pass to number 45, Shannon Elliott. There's Elliott, will hoist the three. No good. Rebound Kearns, about a 5-second differential game clock, shot clock. So UConn is going to beat Villanova for the 22nd time in the last 24 meetings. The Huskies have now won 101 of their last 108 regular season Big East games. Williams with the push-off on the rebound.
All right, folks, don't forget to play CPTV's Text Trivia Challenge for a chance to win a TomTom GPS navigation system and a shot at one of our season-ending grand prizes, those 3 HD TVs. The question, where is UConn's main campus? Please text A, B, or C to 57901.
Megan and I will be wherever that is next Wednesday night for the West Virginia game at 7:30 here on CPTV. Doherty hits the shot. UConn will not take another shot. Lauren Dixon will dribble out the clock. And UConn, for the 10th time in the last 14 years, is off to a 12-0 start. Maya Moore, 12 points, 11 rebounds, tied her career high with 6 assists, so it was her second career double-double. And the Huskies train ride continues. They've now won 207 of their last 210 games against unranked opponents. They beat unranked Villanova by an even 50. UConn assisted on 22 of its 33 field goals en route to an 88-38 win over Villanova. Bob Picozzi back at the Pavilion in Villanova, Pennsylvania. The Huskies held Villanova to 7 for 30 from three-point range. Megan Kumo standing by with Gino Auriemma.
Bob, thank you very much. Gino, I joke with Chris at halftime. You know, a lot of times you come into Villanova and you kind of dread playing them because of their style, but this was a pretty dominating performance, particularly on the defensive end.
Well, I got to tell you, I dreaded it coming down here because it's a much different Villanova team than the one that finished last in the Big East last year. They're a little older, much more experienced, but I don't think they were prepared for how quick we are in our zone. It's tough to move the ball, and we probably played a lot more zone tonight than we did at any other time this year. But when our defense is that good, it just gets our offense going. I mean, I told the guys on our team, we scored 47 points in the first half, and Renee and Maya didn't even play. So, tonight was one of our better games in a long, long time.
Wow, I don't hear you say that very often.
No, it was because when you come down here, it's a mental test as much as it is physical, because this is one of the few teams in the country that's trying to score from the three-point line more than they are layup. They would rather have a three than a layup. So it's not an easy thing to prepare for this team. It's not very often that you tell Tina Charles, listen, for tomorrow's game, your kid's going to take 10 threes. I mean, it just doesn't happen. So it was a good test, and I thought we passed it with flying colors.
Are you surprised at defensively how you guys make other teams look? You make teams look really bad.
Well, Harry was telling me before the game, and I think he's right. One of the things that separates us from a lot of other teams is we're able to keep our defensive intensity, not only the whole possession or the whole first half, but the whole game. And I think that wears the other team down after a period of time, and it frustrates them. So, yeah, this group plays really hard. They play together. What else can I say?
Well, what separates this team in that fashion? I mean, do you just kill them in practice to give them that preparation to be able to do it for 40 minutes? Because that's not easy to do for 40 minutes.
Well, I mean, I don't know that I would want to be labeled a killer of young children. I don't know that I kill them. I strongly encourage that they play hard defensively, and I'm a pretty strong encourager when it comes to playing hard on defense all the time. So this particular team has taken my encouragement and run with it.
Brittany Hunter looked pretty good today. It was nice to see her back. And Sharday Houston, taking a lot of jumpers. Did you strongly encourage her to shoot from the top of the key?
Yeah, well, when you play Villanova, as long as I've played them, that's the one shot you're going to get. They're going to double team the guy in the low post, and they're going to give up that foul line jump shot. So whether it's you or Swing Cash or, Ann Struther here last year or Sharday, whoever is going to be in that spot is going to get that foul line jumper. And if you don't make it, it's going to be for a long day. But Sharday knocked a couple of those down, and that changed everything.
All right. Well, I know you're here for a day or so. Hey, you're going to check out the new practice facility. Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet. But Jay Wright was telling me that there's only one downside to it. Harry's office is right off the practice floor. So he just walks out of his office and disrupts their practice every day. So Jay's out shopping for blinds. I think he's putting blinds so Harry can't see what time practice is.
Good luck at Purdue, Coach. Bob?
All right, Jay Wright and his Villanova men's team is playing tonight in Chicago against DePaul in their Big East opener. Tina Charles, 19 points, 11 rebounds, her fifth double-double of the year. Mel Thomas, 16 points. Maya Moore, 12 points, 11 rebounds, tied her career high with 6 assists. Her third double-double. Renee Montgomery at 11 points. UConn shot 50.8%. Bria Getty led Villanova with 12, all on three-pointers. Whitman had 10. Villanova shot just 27%. The Wildcats slipped to 10-4. 0-1 in the Big East. They'll host Seton Hall next Tuesday. UConn 12-0, 1-0 in the Big East. They visit Purdue Sunday, and then they will host West Virginia in their Big East home opener next Wednesday at Gamble Pavilion at 7:30 here on CPTV. For Megan Kumo, I'm Bob Picozzi. Once again, the final, UConn 88 and Villanova 38. The preceding has been a presentation of Connecticut Public Television. Stay tuned for Pioneers of Television. It's next on CPTV.